Gardeners are all creative people, whether we're just putting together plant combinations in containers at home or whatever it is that we're doing. But I want you to meet a metal artist who combines the love of nature with this beautiful sculptural work that you do. Stephanie Dwyer is known for her bottle trees and other works of beautiful art.
Okay, so I start out, this is a 7-foot tree and the average tree is 5 feet tall.
Okay.
So this is a little extra work, more material. This is 1/2-inch material, and normally I use 3/8.
Okay.
So this is going to be a heavier, sturdier tree. Sometimes the trunk comes easy and sometimes it doesn't, which makes each piece its own individual. Yes. And sometimes I tweak, like I can see a little, I'm taking up space is what I'm doing. And so even these bends that will be real open, I can fill those in and add depth and texture. And each one of these goes into its own limb. And so the span on this, I usually go, it's a lot wider than it is deeper.
Okay.
So if you look down on it, it's actually like an oval in shape.
All right. Stephanie made many trips to New Orleans after Katrina, listening to the stories of devastation from survivors, each one unique, yet all having the common thread of loss. And the image of those coastal trees bent from the storm made a lasting impression. Out of this experience came Stephanie's Katrina tree.
And I said, you know, I just have to do like a dedication piece. And all these women shared all their stories of loss, and people experienced so much uniquely, but as a whole, there were so many people affected.
Right.
And so I thought this would be a good
way
to commemorate their growth and change. And so the Katrina tree has 3 wind swirls, so it's showing the movement that's happening through the tree, and that would be between the limbs.
Okay.
And so I've got one at the top, and I'll actually put a bird, so you've got the silhouette of the bird, so that the tree really has a lot of life to it. When you do art shows, you get to talk to people individually, and that's when I learned about bottle trees. You know, I mean, old women would come into my booth and tell me their bottle tree stories from when they were a kid.
Right.
And I was like, this is really special. This isn't just straight strands of material with a bottle on the end of it. You know, this has to have life.
Right.
And I felt like when I started doing the trees, I was creating them with so much more life than what I had seen. Because I don't like to copy people's work, but I did have a lot of people that asked me to do bottle trees.
Of course.
And it's just grown. I mean, the whole reason I'm here in Paris, Tennessee now is because of the bottle trees. I mean,
That's
everybody
amazing.
that I met.
What a great story. Great story for
It
you
just
and
keeps
for
going.
the trees. Yeah.
The tools that I have, I mean, I've made everything to accommodate my needs. You know, I've got holes here for tighter bends, a 1/2 inch right here. I've got this cutting table on wheels, so I cut on this with a plasma cutter. Like, here's the leaves before they're pounded out and shaped. And then this I use a lot. This is just a process of going back and forth, doing slight bends, not too much. And you're literally shaping and molding this tree ever so slightly.
Branch by branch and stem by stem.
Yep, and like I said, sometimes it flows and sometimes it doesn't. See, I can see some flow happening here at the bottom. I call it flow. But then at the top here, it needs to come back to the tree. So we're gonna move the metal just slightly to bring it back where we need it. So, and it doesn't take much. Yep, see, I like that.
And now it connects here.
Exactly,
And
so every time.
you'll weld that point to hold it together?
And the nice thing about that, you see how there's a lot of movement right here? The more welds you have, the tighter it gets. And we're using.
And the more pieces you add, the more trunks, if you will, that you add to it, the more stable it becomes as you build.
Yes, it's layers, layers.
So this is obviously a standalone piece that could be used either as maybe a trellis or a screen of some kind. But really exemplifies sort of what you do with the bottles. And is kind of a bottle tree, but in a single plane.
I built this for myself because I was growing cucumbers at my old shop in Jackson, Mississippi, and I didn't want just any trellis. And I incorporated the bottles because I knew that this would be color in the winter when there's nothing there.
Right.
And so I had this outside for a long time, and then I brought it into the shop for a party, and people went nuts. And so I started, and this is pretty raw compared to what I would sell somebody.
Okay.
So, like, I never use rebar hardly ever in any of my pieces above ground, only below ground.
Right.
And then they have a lot more swirls and curls and like vine tendrils, you know,
Sure.
reaching out.
Stephanie has had several private and public installations of her art. One she's especially proud of is at Shangri-La Botanical Garden in Texas. So tell me about this, the actual installation that you did, the trees.
Well, originally it took, I said 5 weeks. It ended up taking 8 weeks. A lot of that had to do with the weather. I'm afraid of heights. We had to use a scissor lift.
And how tall are they?
17 feet.
17 feet, and there are how many total?
There's 4.
There are 4.
They're 4, and they're 17 feet by, I think it was, the largest limb I did was 8 feet.
Wow.
So, you know, you've got quite a span there. Yeah. And then the canopy is at 9 feet, so you can't touch it. But when you walk under it and through it, it's just...
You get all this color.
Oh, it's just magical. And it's on a little bit of a curve like the Katrina tree. You know, it's not a perfect structure, you know, it's not straight. But when I was building it, I originally thought 14 feet. And then as I was there and I was watching the wildlife around me and all the birds were enjoying everything, I was like, this has got to be taller.
It needs to be a little bigger.
It's called Dancing Sisters too. So each tree is connected by one limb, kind of like when little girls are holding hands and going in a circle.
Stephanie tells me it took her a while to think of herself as an artist, but that fact is clear on a walk around her place. She has a knack for rethinking old items, giving them new purpose with a creative flair. You needed a sink?
Yes, we had a party here Saturday night, and we had Blue Mother Tupelo performed in the shop.
Okay.
And it was dumping rain, but we needed a place for people to wash their hands. And so my friend and I put this together one day. And basically, it's just we took apart pallets. This is 2 pallets stacked on top of each other back here.
Right.
And then we reinforced it with a 2x4. And then this old mirror I've had laying around the living room. It's just a perfect addition to it. And then these little components, architectural accents, came from Old House Depot in Jackson, Mississippi.
You know, the other thing that I noticed you had done, I love those little seats or maybe ottomans that are done out of the tires.
Yes.
What a fun thing.
It was fun, but it was really difficult.
Was
I had
it?
to have my neighbor come down and help me sink the bolts in there. And, you know, we drilled through the tires to hold them together with the bolts. And it just gets heavy.
Yeah.
Those are my tires, you know, for my truck.
From your truck.
And I wasn't about to throw them away.
Yeah, so once they're set, they're not going anywhere. They're good and sturdy and stable. So Bottle Trees really is sort of where it all began 9 years ago. And sort of where we're ending today. And this one here in front of your house is a beautiful example of what you do.
Well, this one's called Eudora, after Eudora Welty. All the trees that I do are named after Southern icons.
Okay.
So Truman Capote, that's my smallest one.
Yeah.
Eudora Welty, and then the Katrina tree after Hurricane Katrina.
Well, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you for sharing your talent and your time and these beautiful works of art that you do. And where can people find out more about your
Well, I
pieces?
encourage people to come here directly. I extend a welcome to anyone who wants to pick their tree up here, just because I think it's so beautiful.
Right.
I mean, I love Paris. I love it. And
it
there's
is
a lot
beautiful
to see
out
around here.
Thank you.
Thank you.